Hello, welcome to a new video. Today we are going to be talking all things organization. How do I keep organized? Just in case you didn't know, I'm currently studying a degree in fashion design here in Melbourne, and I'm also balancing that while working part-time in retail as well as working part-time on a remote role from my old company in New Zealand, as well as doing YouTube stuff. So I'm juggling a lot of things, and to do that I have to keep quite organized. So today I thought I'd share some of the habits I have in place that help me keep my life under control and get everything done that I need to. Food. I love food, and there's a couple of things I do to keep on track with eating well and staying on budget with my food, not eating out all the time. The first thing I do is meal plan. I like to go through my recipe books and figure out what I want to eat that week. I tend to choose like 2 main meals that I'm gonna cook and maybe some extra snacks and things when I'm grocery shopping. I've also got a folder printed out of any recipes online that I've liked after I've made them, so that I don't have to like kind of Google, figure out which one it was, try to remember. I also have an ongoing grocery list. Anytime you start to run out of something, or you're getting low on something, or you need something, or you want something, chuck it on the grocery list. I use the reminders app in my iPhone, which means as I go through the supermarket I can just check off each thing that I've purchased. And I also like to go through and add to this list what I need from recipes. Like I'll check my pantry and see what I do and don't have for the recipes. I do usually try to make ones that I have like a little bit of the ingredients already. And the third part of the food equation is to meal prep. I try to do this if I know I have classes and I've got a really busy week coming up, because I know that if I've been at school all day I'll cycle home and I'll just be tired and not want to do anything. So I either have to have an easy meal that has minimal prep left to do, or it's all prep, just needs heating up. So I think this week as well that I filmed, I also made a little bit of banana bread, which was a nice snack to have in my lunchbox. A diary or a planner or a calendar or whatever you want to call it. I think everyone should have one. We are human, we're gonna forget things. I know I forget things all the time, which is why I write everything down in my diary. Someone invites you for dinner, or you have an event coming up, a due date, anything, write it down in a diary. I like to use this bullet journal format with just a monthly review, and I write everything I need to do in it. So when I'm working, when my classes are, when due dates for assignments are, any events that are coming up, anything social. And I also write my to-do lists in here, cross them out, just the really important things that I need to get done. If someone's like, hey, do you want to go out to coffee next week? And you look down at your planner and there's so much going on that week, there's a really good opportunity to be like, hey, I'm really busy next week, but could it be this date? That way I find that I keep things balanced and I will be less overwhelmed by everything that I have going on. Seeing some people really like using digital calendars. Something about paper for me, it just gets me, and I really enjoy the aspect of like writing it down, crossing it off. It's really satisfying to me. There's a lot of ways of structuring to do this out there. There's like bullet journal methods. You can buy little pads that have them on. I personally like to use the reminders app in my phone. I like to put everything I need to do on there. I almost brain dump it into there. Anytime something's bothering me, like, oh, I need to do that, oh, I need to do that, it keeps clutter in my brain. So I like to put it down in the reminders. I can forget about it, and when I have some spare time later, I can look at my reminders and be like, oh yeah, that's what I need to do tonight. If I'm really sure I'm gonna forget it, I can set the little like alert notification to remind me to do it, which I did for putting out my recycling, because I was forgetting that a lot. So now it pops up and says, hey, put out your recycling. I also like to implement a kind of to-do system in my emails, where I flag an email that comes in where it's got a task that needs doing, and only when I've finished that task later on do I unflag it. That way nothing gets lost or missed in my inbox. If you have an inbox where you have things that you have to do coming in regularly, I really recommend trying that out. Big projects. How do I keep organized for big projects, long projects, projects with lots of different individual little tasks? This is where my nerdy love of Excel comes in. You can use Google Sheets as well if you don't have Microsoft Excel. But essentially, I love a good spreadsheet where I dump all the information that I need to for my big assignments. This semester I've got like one giant assignment, but I'm going to show you a little bit of my previous semester planning, where I had like 4 subjects and they all had multiple assignments with multiple components to them. What I do is I always start off by going through the assignment brief. This is where you have all your information about everything that you need to do. In my university they have a brief with like bullet points and information about the assignment, and then they also have a rubric for how it's graded. And if you get something similar, I feel like you need to look at both. There's valuable information in both, so I like to break it all down. Anytime I see in those assignment briefs something that needs to be done for the assignment, I like to write it out on an Excel spreadsheet, and it really helps to break down those big assignments into smaller achievable chunks, which I can then be like, okay, this week or this afternoon I'm gonna do this part of the assignment. I'm gonna do 5 out of the 20 drawings we have to do, for example. If there is due dates or deadlines in there, I like to have a row that's got those deadlines. But sometimes I like to make my own personal deadlines just so that I can keep on top of it and make sure I'm just like hitting those points in the assignment to get everything done, because you don't want to leave it all to the last minute. Like, I've done it before, don't leave it all to the last minute, please, I'm telling you. For this particular semester as well, because I had like numbered amounts of things I had to achieve, I also put little tick boxes, which I put little crosses in every time I finished them. So it was like 5 pages of research, each time I did a page, I did a little cross. Even when the wheels come off a little bit, when it's getting really busy, you still have this plan that you can go back to from a time when you were not so frantic and had so much on and you had a bit more brain space to think and plan. But any way that helps you break down a big assignment brief and plan out achievable chunks, I think is a really good thing to do, especially at the start of the semester. Start early. You may have seen from some of my previous videos, I live in a tiny studio apartment, so if I don't keep things organized and tidy, it very quickly gets out of control and the whole space feels like messy and cluttered. Something I try to do, which doesn't work all the time when I'm super busy and like blah. Everything has a home, so if there's things out, they all have somewhere to be, and I can just kind of like slot them back into their homes. Set up a little drop zone, so when I come into the house and drop things in, like my headphones, my keys, my public transport card, it's all in one spot. And in the mornings I'm not like, oh my gosh, where is all my stuff? It's in that spot. That's probably one of the things that I've been pretty good at doing, is like putting those things that I often lose in a spot, which you'd wonder how I'd lose it in a studio apartment. If you don't put it in the spot, you can lose it. And I've been trying to put things back in their spots as I'm done with them, which again, doesn't always work, but if I do it, it makes life so much easier. For example, my makeup drawer, I try not to bring out my makeup out of their spots. I try to use it, put it back in, rather than leaving it all out on the counter. It has a spot, it goes back into the spot. Those are some ways I like to keep organized. I know lots of these ideas aren't revolutionary or particularly new or high tech, but for me they've really made a difference, just keeping my life more organized and feeling less overwhelmed and like I have a bit more control over my life. Whereas sometimes when I get busy, it just feels like everything's overwhelming and out of control. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe to our channel for more videos. We make all sorts of videos about life and fashion and beauty, so hit that subscribe button. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!